From a tourist who escapes death after getting too close to a lion, to a woman who completely misses cutting her bangs. Check out today's most instant regret moments. In the town of Drogheda, Ireland, a man with bad intentions spotted a car parked in an alley and decided to simply break into it. Unfortunately for him, everything did not go as planned. The man, obviously not very experienced in this kind of robbery, used a rock to break the car's window. However, this was not effective enough for the thief, who then chose to use a brick to achieve his goal. But when he threw the heavy paving stone at the car, it bounced off the car and landed in his face. The man was knocked unconscious by the brick and lay there until the owner of the vehicle, Jerry Brady, found him. The latter, also owner of the pub whose surveillance cameras captured this surreal scene, immediately tried to help him, naively thinking that the man had just been assaulted. At this point, the thief, presumably not embarrassed by the situation, asked Jerry Brady for money to take a cab. And the worst is not there. Without any scruples, he did not hesitate to threaten him to tell the police, in case of refusal, that he was his aggressor. Moreover, it is exactly what he dared to affirm the local authorities once on the scene. Of course, his thesis did not last long because the images of the video surveillance proved the opposite. This amused the police and millions of internet users, because precisely the video, once broadcast on social networks, has quickly become viral. Not sure that the thief, very amateur, ventures in the future to commit the same crime. At least, we hope so. During a safari in Tanzania in the Serengeti Natural Park, a group of tourists distinguished themselves by their thoughtlessness. While they were on the edge of their jeep, they crossed the path of two lions that lay down near the vehicle. But instead of being satisfied with quietly observing the animals, one of the tourists saw fit to lean out the window to pet the feline. No, you are not dreaming. Not surprisingly, he soon regretted his reckless action as the lion then turned around and glared at the group. At that moment, we can imagine that the tourists understood very quickly that they should not have titillated the curiosity of such a predator. It is not without reason that one of them tried to close the window. Unfortunately for him, the wild animal, too close to the window, prevented him from doing so by letting out a roar that was intimidating to say the least. This caused an instant panic among the tourists, who will probably not risk getting too close to a lion again. All the more so as they really had a narrow escape. After all, if the feline had decided to, it could have very well pulled them out of the vehicle. Luckily, the lion preferred to move away, giving the tourists time to close the window. On the other hand, if they got out of it unharmed, the internet users, them, have mostly denounced their behavior. Some have even reminded us that we should not joke with animals that weigh more than 300 kilos. And it must be said that they are not wrong. It is well known that phone covers can be very useful in case of small shocks. However, they are by no means indestructible. This young boy from Russia will learn this the hard way. Indeed, he tried to prove in front of the camera that the shell of his smartphone could protect his device from any accident. So, after showing that his phone was in perfect working order, he closed the cover before giving no less than 2 blows of hammers on his Samsung, thinking that this way he could demonstrate the incredible strength of his new cover. The result? Well, the screen finally broke in several pieces. Once he realized the failure of his little experiment, the young man, panic-stricken, then tried as best as he could to hold back his tears. A scene that has obviously very quickly made the buzz on social networks. So much so that on YouTube, where it was published in March 2015, it has more than 2.5 million views. And the least we can say is that many internet users have reacted to this sequence. However, some doubt its authenticity, claiming that the phone disappeared for a moment from the camera field, perhaps leaving time for another person to replace it with a previously broken device. What is it really? We don't know. In any case, this video is amazing as it is comical. In a street of Guayaquil, Ecuador, a man was resting quietly inside his car. So far, so good. But while he was lying down, a cat suddenly landed on his hood, probably attracted by the motorist's red sock. However, as soon as he tried to sniff it through the window, the man, apparently annoyed by the cat's presence, decided to give it a violent kick on the windshield to chase it away. Unfortunately for him, his attempt was not enough to make the animal flee. It is then that the motorist had the very bad idea to try his luck again by giving a new blow to the window. It was a bad idea, because at this moment, the windshield simply broke, what had without a doubt to make him regret his action. And as if that wasn't enough, the cat, for its part, remained seated on its hood as if nothing happened. It is thus certain that the main concerned is not close to forget one day this moment of karma which, in addition, amused many internet users throughout the world. And we understand why. Cutting your own hair usually requires a minimum of expertise. Indeed, even if there are hundreds of tutorials on the internet to learn how to do it yourself, it is not always so simple to achieve, especially when it comes to cutting the bangs. Sometimes it can even turn into a disaster. The proof with this South Korean woman called Subin Yang. With her scissors, she tried to cut a nice fringe, as we see in many videos of beauty channels on YouTube. To do this, she had to keep the hair strand straight before cutting it, which is not as easy as it sounds. And it is certainly not Subin Yang who will tell you otherwise, because she completely missed the cut of her bangs. Naturally shocked when she saw the disastrous result of her short and uneven cut, Subin Yang then simply brushed with the comb what was left of her bangs before being seized by a nervous laugh, especially since at the time, she also had the right to a small cut on her finger, as what the video realized by this young woman was really a total failure. Nevertheless, the good news is that she will at least have learned that it is sometimes preferable to go to professionals to get a good cut. On June 30th, 2019, in the city of Hamilton, located in the province of Ontario, Canada, a motorist was driving in his lane when suddenly, an unexpected incident occurred. The driver crossed the path of a pedestrian who was crossing the road without being in the crosswalk. This could have caused a serious accident. Fortunately, the driver immediately braked to let him reach the sidewalk. At that moment, the pedestrian, who was supposed to thank the motorist, preferred instead to take his time to cross the road while staring at the motorist for a long time. Clearly angry for some mysterious reason, the pedestrian continued walking, no doubt thinking he was in the right. However, he might have been better off looking ahead. The reason? Well, once he got to the sidewalk, he got hit in the face by the pole. Filmed by the driver's dash cam, the man then continued on his way without knowing that he would be the subject of media coverage as well as being the laughingstock of the web. It is thus certain this quite astonishing scene will remain forever engraved in his memory. If the majority of dog breeds are very intelligent, they are not always very gifted when it comes to games of chance. This is the case with this adorable dog who had to make a choice between two hands held out by his master. Without hesitation, the adorable animal chose the right hand. This allowed him to win a delicious kibble that he tasted without delay. At the moment, the dog was undoubtedly very happy with his choice. However, his joy will unfortunately be very short-lived. Why? Simply because he had just missed a handful of kibble. Indeed, when his master opened his left hand, the poor animal discovered that it contained much more food. And we have to admit that his reaction was quite touching. Finally, very disappointed, the dog has just sadly observed the hand of his owner filled with good kibble. And the most amazing thing is that this canine had an exemplary attitude, as he did not throw himself on the food he had just lost. Just goes to show, this dog is as cute as he is well behaved. In Los Angeles during the Cinegear Expo 2016, a festival where the latest innovations and trends in technology are exhibited, a man managed to attract the attention of many passers-by. How? By proving the effectiveness of his stabilizer, in which was installed a camera type Arri Alexa XT, which can be worth between $70,000 and $100,000. That's all it takes. Filmed by camera, the man who seems to present this incredible equipment was particularly proud of the way the stabilizer works, and it is not wrong. As the footage shows, he managed to lift the camera effortlessly thanks to his seemingly strong stabilizer. In fact, the man went so far as to jump on the spot to demonstrate that the device did indeed allow his camera to remain stationary despite his many movements. However, this presentation has, against all expectations, turned to drama. Indeed, while leaning slightly backwards, his stabilizer strangely broke, making his very expensive camera fall at the same time. Of course, this memorable failure will not be long in making the buzz on the web. In Arendal, in the south of Norway, the mayor Robert Cornels Nordli was about to open the doors of a new glass elevator, allowing tourists and inhabitants to have a surprising view on the whole city. And as tradition dictates, the mayor had to cut the red ribbon with scissors. Except that everything did not go as planned. Indeed, a man called Leif Kidland suddenly interrupted the inauguration ceremony by cutting the ribbon himself, leaving the mayor of the city speechless. But then, why did this man do this, you might ask? In fact, the mayor wanted to show his dissatisfaction with the project, which has been delayed several times and has cost 50 million NOK more than expected from the taxpayers' money. Nevertheless, Leif Kidland's intervention obviously did not prevent the opening of this elevator. Here is now a video sequence as funny as unusual. We can indeed see a man accompanied by a young woman waiting for the arrival of a cab previously ordered on a mobile application. They then followed the route of their driver while waiting on a boulevard. So far, nothing so unusual. Moreover, when they saw that the cab had arrived at their destination, they naturally went towards the vehicle. However, when they opened the door, they discovered, to their great surprise, that a completely different person was already in the car. Obviously, they had just gotten the wrong cab. This must have been quite an embarrassing situation for these two young people. Now it's your turn to tell us in the comments which of these moments surprised you the most. And if you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like, to subscribe to the channel, and to activate the bell to receive all the notifications and not miss anything of our next videos. See you tomorrow, same time, same channel for a new video.